Imagine for a moment. You are taken from your home by force, sold as a slave in a foreign land. 10 years later, somehow you are free, and you return home with one dream: to see your mother and father, to see your friends, to return to the land you were born on. But when you arrive, no one is there. No mother, no father, no friends, no village. A plague had come. Everyone was gone. You are alone. What does this man do? He wept, he broke, but he did not give up. And then the people whose nation had kidnapped him, enslaved him, brought the disease that killed every single person he ever loved. He saved them. His name was Squanto, and America turned him into a Thanksgiving cartoon character. Squanto, whose real name was Tisquantum, was a Wampanoag man from the village of Patuxent, near what is now Plymouth, Massachusetts. He was a skilled hunter, an experienced fisherman, a respected member of his community. His life was ordinary, beautiful, peaceful. In 1605, English explorer George Weymouth arrived on the coast of North America. He kidnapped 5 Native Americans. Tisquantum was one of them. He was taken to England, learned English. Years later, explorer John Smith brought him back to America. But he was only free for a few months. In 1614, another English explorer named Thomas Hunt kidnapped him again, this time along with 27 other Wampanoag people. Hunt took them to Spain and sold them as slaves. Tisquantum was sold as a slave. Think about that. The man America calls the hero of Thanksgiving was kidnapped twice by English explorers and sold into slavery. But Tisquantum did not give up. In Spain, Catholic monks freed him from slavery. He made his way to England and spent years trying to find a way back to America. Nearly 10 years. 10 years of trying to go home. In 1919, Tisquantum finally returned to America. He walked toward his village, Patuxent, his birthplace, his people. But the village was gone. Between 1616 and 1619, a devastating plague had swept through Wampanoag territory. An estimated 90% of the Wampanoag population had died. Entire villages had disappeared. In Patuxent, not one person had survived. His mother, his father, his friends, his entire community, all gone. Tisquantum stood alone in the ruins of his village. Kidnapped twice, sold into slavery, 10 years away from home, and when he finally came back, there was no home. Think about the weight of that moment. 10 years of dreaming about coming home, 10 years of one single hope: to see his people, to return to his land, to belong somewhere again. And he arrived to find nothing, just silence and the memory of everyone he had ever loved. In 1620, the Mayflower arrived. Wampanoag Grand Sachem Massasoit sent Tisquantum to make contact with the Pilgrims. Tisquantum helped the people whose nation had kidnapped him twice, sold him into slavery, brought the disease that killed every single person he ever loved. He taught them how to plant corn, how to fertilize fields with fish, which plants were safe to eat and which were poisonous, where to fish and hunt, how to survive a New England winter. Without this knowledge, every single pilgrim would have died. Tisquantum guided the Pilgrims to their first successful harvest, and in the fall of 1621, the famous 3-day feast that America calls Thanksgiving took place. Tisquantum was there, but what he thought that day, no one knows. Perhaps he thought of peace, perhaps he thought of his lost people, perhaps he hoped this new relationship would protect his nation. Tisquantum died in 1622, near Cape Cod, from illness.
Before he died, he told Pilgrim Governor Edward Winslow to give his possessions to his English friends. Even at the very end, he called them friends. That kind of forgiveness, that kind of grace, is almost impossible to comprehend. And yet, he helped them. Squantum was gone, but the Wampanoag-Pilgrim relationship continued under Grand Sachem Massasoit. Massasoit maintained peace his entire life. He kept his word. He honored every agreement. But the English numbers kept growing. Their towns kept expanding. Their hunger for land kept growing. Settlers built towns on Wampanoag land, often without permission. They brought pigs that destroyed Wampanoag crops. They imposed legal systems the Wampanoag had never agreed to. Massasoit died in 1661. His son Metacom became Grand Sachem. The English called him King Philip. Metacom watched his people's land disappear piece by piece. He watched their freedom shrink year by year. He watched everything his father had built being used to slowly strangle his people. In 1675, Metacom went to war. King Philip's War. King Philip's War lasted from 1675 to 1676. It was proportionally the deadliest war in American history. Per capita, more people died in King Philip's War than in any other conflict on American soil, including the Civil War. Metacom united multiple Native American nations. His forces attacked English settlement after English settlement across New England. But the English won. In August 1676, Metacom was betrayed by one of his own men, tracked down, killed. His body was drawn and quartered. His head was displayed on a pike in Plymouth, the same town where Squanto had saved the Pilgrims, for 25 years. His wife and son were sold into slavery in the Caribbean. The nation that had saved the Pilgrims was nearly destroyed by the Pilgrims' descendants. But the Wampanoag are still here. Today, the Mashpee Wampanoag on Cape Cod and the Aquina Wampanoag on Martha's Villa are two federally recognized sovereign nations. Their language, Wampanoag, was considered extinct for over 150 years. Then, Jessie Littledoe Baird, a Wampanoag woman, worked with linguists at MIT to reconstruct the language from historical documents, missionary records, legal papers, 17th-century Wampanoag writings. She succeeded. Today, Wampanoag children are learning to speak the language of their ancestors for the first time in over 150 years. Their ceremonies continue, their connection to the land, the same land where Squanto saved the Pilgrims in 1621, has never been broken. And every Thanksgiving, the Wampanoag hold a national day of mourning in Plymouth, Massachusetts, not to celebrate, to remember, to honor those who died, to tell the truth about what happened after the feast. If this story moved you, share this video so more people can know the real story of Squanto and the Wampanoag Nation. Follow the page for more untold stories of Native American history. And tell me in the comments, which Native American tribe do you want to see next?